All right, I'm starting out this morning, pulling up anchor. We're gonna go a ways to, I think it's called, I'll forget the name of it, but it's about 8 miles. I'm gonna go pull up the anchor. I need my remote, so I'll get that going through here. All right, we'll pull up anchor. Got quite a bit of road out. It's about 70 feet because of the depth here. And it held good, although we didn't get near as much wind as they had forecast. And I pray that today the wind will hold off until I get to this island about 8 miles away. Pretty sandy bottom here, I think, so the anchor should come up pretty clean. Yeah, we're down to about 30 feet now. Or 40 feet, I guess it was. Chain's starting to come up. Yep, figured it would be. The road is in. I've got all the tracking going. Dry it off my hands. And I think that camera's lined up pretty good. So we'll go. Yep, depth. Forgot to put the depth on. And we have a kayak behind us. I want to make sure that stays there. And we'll swing out a little bit beyond this island to make sure we don't hit any shoals. There's a little bit of a spit that comes out from that island that has some rocks, indicating there could be something underneath. Yeah, we'll step it up to close to 7 miles an hour. Wind looks okay. I don't see anything coming up the channel here, which would be an indicator that it's stronger than what it was in the anchorage. Sometimes it's hard to tell because the trees block it so much that you can't, it seems like it's not much wind, but it can be quite a bit. The other day I was in that anchorage, 30 miles an hour wind, and I was almost calm in the anchorage. So anyway, I'll just run you a little bit here as we come out of the anchorage. Got a good night's rest. The forecast looks really good for the next 2 days, so I should be able to make it home actually a day early, and that's fine with me. I'd sooner be a day early than a day late. So. Well, I'll wait until I get around the island here before I turn on the autopilot. Seemed to be working a lot better the other day, which I was pleased with. Still kind of a rugged bottom here, so we'll leave a reasonable distance here between where I'm at and the island here. You'll see the island coming up shortly. Decided to wait on breakfast until I get to the next spot because getting there is more important than my food for breakfast. I can always eat later. So I had some cookies with coffee and that'll hold me. Just coming abreast the island. Then we've got to go around the big point out here, I forget the name of it, before we start heading to the southeast where the island is. It looks pretty flat here, but there is that rocky little islet there that's not a good indicator. So I always wonder how far that goes out underneath the water. So. And I don't know if you can see it, but beyond that is the point. Looks like there's heavy fog out there. That's not good, but all right, we're beyond that point, so we'll go ahead and set the autopilot up. All right, we're underway, but it looks like we're going to be dealing with fog when we round the point. Yeah, we'll check the chart here to see if there's any obstacles we got to be worried about. Abeki Point, it's called. Abeki Point. All right, folks, we're coming into the anchorage here. Been dodging fog here this morning, and I see a reef here off to my right I got to be careful of. Coming in slow. Wind is up stronger than well, I don't know, maybe close to what they forecast, but it seems stronger than what they had forecast. I'd like to get the other camera online, but it can't seem to get that pocket to connect, especially if the Osmo connects first. It just won't connect. It's just been giving me lots of trouble. I don't know why. I didn't have any trouble on the St. Croix River, but I am today and have been through the trip. I don't know what to do about that. It's a little bit frustrating to be able to not be able to have that camera, control that camera. It immediately connects to the Osmo action, but not to the pocket. I don't know why. I got it the other day once, and then yesterday, I guess it was, or day before, I got it to work, but well, we're coming in here. Hopefully this will be a good anchorage. The wind is supposed to be pretty gentle today anyway, so. Well, the weather forecast shows that I should be able to move tomorrow, the last leg. I'm really thank the Lord for that, because it's been such a frustrating few days not being able to move very often because of the winds. I better disconnect the autopilot. And take over manually coming in here, so. Couple of loons. Try to tuck up in there under the right, I think, as much as I can. That looks like some kind of a wreck over there. No, just trees. Not too bad of an anchorage. It looks, we'll tuck up in the right here, get behind this little spit coming out. Looks pretty flat on the bottom, so we should be okay that way. But we better check depths here. There's a little bit of a peak there. I think they call this Hat Mountain Harbor, if I recall. All right, it's getting shallow there fast. 7.5 feet, 7 feet, 7 feet, 6.5 feet, 5.8. All right, we'll call it 7 feet. Drop the anchor. Looks like a muddy bottom. Let the wind carry me down a little bit. Yeah, we'll put out 50 feet. We call it 7. Yeah, it looks like there's a few rocks around. Or is that sunlight? I can't tell. Looks okay here though. All right, there's 50 feet. I got the road is marked so I can tell when I've got enough out. All right, let's go let back down on it once it gets straightened out. All right, what do we got here? 7 feet. Should be pulling the boat around here pretty quick. Still showing 7 or 8 feet. All right, there it's coming around. Yeah, there's some rocks down there, but they're pretty deep. Those all might be a little closer to the surface. This is still 7 feet here. Slow coming around here. I don't know why it's taking so long, but I'll help it a little bit. It's coming around there now. Put it in reverse. Set the anchor. All right, leave that in gear for a minute. Let me see what I got up here. Looks good. All right, we're arrived at our anchorage. Yeah, it's Hat Island Harbor, or Hat Harbor. I don't remember what it is here. But there are some rocks over here, but they look deep. I got 6.5 feet, so they're pretty deep. Well, I'll turn the camera off here and settle in, and we'll maybe talk to you guys later after we get organized. Well, I'm just looking here right now to make sure that I'm not going to swing in on shore here. I didn't think I had that much road out, but I got to let it swing around here to make sure. And also that I'm not touching bottom here someplace where there's rocks. It's 5 feet here, so it's a little shallower, but it looks like I'll be okay. 6 feet, so 5.5, 6 feet. So it's still deep, but there are boulders on the bottom. A lot more boulders than I've seen in the past. So, good afternoon, folks. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. I came over early this morning to this anchorage. Ran into quite a bit of fog and some wave action with a little breaking spray over the bow. Otherwise, though, the leg went pretty smooth. I think I only went through about 2 to 3 miles of fog, and then it cleared up before I came into the island here. This anchorage is Hat Mountain Harbor, and actually the reason for the name, I think, is that it looks out on Hat Mountain Island to the east. My plan is to go into the marina tomorrow. The weather, last I checked, is looking pretty good, and so I'll probably take off in the morning early. Probably not too early, 8 or 9, something like that, and then try to make that leg of about 10 miles into the marina. That'll put me in there about a day early, but I've had so much issue with wind that I don't want to delay any longer. I'd prefer to be a day early than a day late. I haven't been off the boat here for about 10 days just because there's no place to tie up to shore, and there's no hiking trails. Really not much to do ashore. Also, there's a lot of bugs, mosquitoes, flies. I've had to deal with that even on board the boat. So there's been more bugs lately than the first week or first 10 days or so. The breeze right now, I'd say, is 7 or 8 miles an hour. I think that's pretty close to what they forecast. There's more cloud cover, though, than I expected. Probably 75-80% cloud cover, maybe even more. But there is a little bit of sun peeking through, and my solar's been doing just fine. In fact, I've got the backup solar battery up on the bow, trying to soak up a little more energy for that, get that powered up. I use that to recharge my laptop. And I downloaded some of the video this morning, the pictures, to a external drive that I have for storage, just to make sure that I don't lose, if a camera goes over the side or something that breaks, I don't lose the video or the pictures. This evening, dinner will be pizza. So pizza, salad, I think there's some salad still left, that's good. And a cold beer, that'll be my dinner. Hopefully get a good night's rest. The winds are forecast to be fairly gentle through the night. I think there is a spot where it gets up to maybe 13 or 14 miles an hour, but I think they're out of the southwest, and this anchorage is fairly well protected. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now, actually, for wind. A little less wind, but I think the wind direction is about the same right now. So the trip's gone well. I have to grant that I've been blessed with each leg having safe wind and wave action. There's so much wind this last 10 days, and yet every time I have made the decision to go based on what I can get for forecasts, it's worked out, and I've been able to move without danger or hazard in spite of this boat, which is not designed for this lake. Very, very carefully, though, I will have to admit that it's sometimes a little difficult because the forecast doesn't always show up exactly the way they say it's going to. Anyway, reading this afternoon, I've been reading this book. This is a new one that I started reading. It's called Fractured Faith by Lina Abu Jamra. She's Lebanese. It says, Finding Your Way Back to God in the Age of Deconstruction. So it's for people that struggle with their faith. Not that I'm struggling with my faith, but I thought I like her. She's a good teacher. She's actually an emergency pediatric doctor. She's quite good at speaking. I've listened to some other audios, and I do her morning devotional that she puts out on the email using that. It's pretty good, so I highly recommend her. Another audiobook that I've been working on, Heaven's Gate, I think was the one that by William Kent Kruger. That's the one I just finished. Anyway, we're getting close to the end. I have mixed feelings about it because of the tough latter half of the trip. I'm actually looking forward to it. I've had enough, I guess. One of the drawbacks of this lake is the fact that you don't have any hiking trails, or at least the ones that I know of. There are no hiking trails. There's very few places where you can tie up to shore. There's a few campsites that are on shore, and I've used a couple of those. But they're few and far between, at least ones that are good ones. That's another drawback, as you know, so you're limited in terms of when you can get off the boat. You're anchoring almost all the time, and I'm okay with that. I have enough things. I read a lot. I just fished a little bit off the stern deck just now, but I didn't get any bites. So you can do some fishing. I've been doing a little on this trip, and there's been times where I've had some luck, but it's still, you get kind of stir crazy being on the boat for 10 days straight and not getting off. So it's a small boat. It's confined. Anyway, I've been doing okay. I try to eat very well. Like I told somebody the other day, or yesterday I think it was, that for breakfast yesterday I had a nice omelet. Then I had, for dinner I had a steak tenderloin that I grilled, and then for dessert I had Bailey's over ice creams. It's not a tough, I eat well enough so that I make up for those drawbacks that I just highlighted. But the trip's been blessed. I feel really good about the way things have gone. I'm not home yet. I've still got a 10-mile leg here to go tomorrow, but looks like it will go well if the weather holds. We'll talk to you tomorrow, probably after I get in over to the marina. My plan is to stay there overnight in the marina. I'm not going to load up anything tomorrow. Then I'll load up the next day and stay another night, either in the marina area, or I'll move up to the place where there's a shower just 3 miles down the road, and I may move over there just to take a shower and spend the night and then head back home the next day. I did have some trouble with my truck transmission on the way up. I'm hoping that went away. I think it was an electronic issue. I don't think the transmission itself was bad. I think there was something wrong on the shifting related to the shifting functions that allow you to select gearing. I think that was where it was, but I don't know for sure, and we'll find out when I start driving home. Anyway, that's the latest update. We'll give you more tomorrow. Have a good day.